Alan Colmes, I want to welcome Pastor Carl Gallups, has been the senior pastor at the Hickory Mammoth Baptist Church in Milton, Florida since 1987. Has written The Magic Man in the Sky, effectively defending the Christian faith, and his second book just came out, The Rabbi Who Found Messiah, the story of Yitzhak Kaduri and his prophecies of the end time. Pastor, thank you for coming on.
Oh, listen, thank you, Alan. It's an honor to be back on with you.
Tell me about this thing going around now that you're saying that Obama is not the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Right? But you believe he is an Antichrist. What do you mean by that?
Well, there's a context to that, and thank you for asking me that so fairly. No, I have never proclaimed, as I told you before when I was on your show, I have never proclaimed that Obama's the Antichrist. As a matter of fact, I have even said the opposite when people have asked me if I thought he was. I said, no, I do not think that he is. And I have also kind of lightly chastised and corrected people who have said that he was. I even had a national talk show host on my radio program. He was on as a guest one day, and he was opining about some of the things that Obama had done. I don't remember what it was. I think it was in relation to the health care law sometime back. And boy, he just went off, and finally he just said over there, he says, he's the Antichrist. He is the Antichrist. And I said, no.
But what do you think he is an Antichrist? Yeah. Please explain.
Yeah, and let me explain that. And the context of that comment came from, Alan, an interview that I had with Dr. Loy Roth a couple of days ago. That interview's been posted on the internet, and I've been made aware of a couple of articles since then that have said that, they've tried to say that I said Obama was the Antichrist. I did not. But an Antichrist, there's a biblical context to that. Mm-hmm. And all that means is, the Scripture is clear, in the book of 1 John and 2 John, John says that many Antichrists have gone out into the world, and then he defines some of the characteristics of an Antichrist-type person, a leader, a leader of great influence who displays characteristics that are anti-Christian, that go against the Christian worldview. And so in that sense, I define Obama as an Antichrist. But there are other world leaders that I have.
But do you believe he goes against what view?
The Christian worldview in particular.
How is he against the Christian worldview?
Well, I'll give you a couple of examples. Now, David Barton on
Wallbanger.
Wallbuilders.com.
Wall Builders.
Yeah.
Wallbanger.
Yeah.
Wall Builders.
No, it's Wall Builders.
I'm thinking of Harvey Wallbanger. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought we didn't call names on your show.
No, exactly.
No, I'm kidding. But no, on David Barton of wallbuilders.com, for example, and he's one of many, but he's done one of the most scholarly jobs of listing scores and scores and scores of examples of anti-Christian, and see, that's where the word Antichrist comes from, anti-Christian things, and then he documents them.
Give me an example. I'm asking you now, not Barton.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you some examples, sure. One, for example, is the support of abortion, particularly partial birth abortion.
So anybody who's for a woman's right to choose is an Antichrist?
Well, listen, I come from a biblical worldview, Alan. So somebody who is for the murder of unborn children in the womb.
I get it. I don't want to get a whole abortion debate, but the point is, there are a lot of people who are pro-choice.
Answer your question, though, Alan.
All right, go ahead.
I promise. I'm not going to get into that debate with you, but I want to finish my statement. And so, yes, from a biblical worldview, which is where I come from unapologetically, then a person who supports that, and you and I have different opinions of what that is.
Well, am I an Antichrist because I support a woman's right to have an abortion?
Well, you would be anti-Christian because the Christian message is opposed to that. And so that's what it means to say an Antichrist or a type of Antichrist. See, there's a context to it, Alan. And if I said that, I would not be calling you the Antichrist.
Yeah.
There's a world of difference.
But I can always strive for that. All right.
Yeah, you and I both.
All right, what else is Obama? Now, what is this Luke 10:18?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting thing.
So I have it right in front of me. Todd Starnes of Fox News gave me his Bible. Yeah. Which I'm actually literally holding in front of me right now.
Yeah, let me explain it to you. And I'll tell you the quick story behind it. Luke 10:18, and I'm going to have to paraphrase because I don't have the Bible right in front of me. But
I do.
When Jesus is talking to his disciples.
Well, I'll read it. You want me to read it? It says,
It
says, verse 17 says, the 72 return with joy. Lord, even the demons submit to us. He replied, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven.
Right.
And then 19 says, I've given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you.
Right.
However, do not rejoice that the spirits submit to you. Now this is 20, but rejoice are written in heaven.
Right, and so go back and read 18 again, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, so 18 says, he replied, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven.
Right. Now, here's the thing, Alan. Years ago, I think back in 2009, several people on the Internet had done a linguistic study of that verse and found some startling word correlations. People were emailing me saying, you need to take a look at this. Well, I went and took a look at them, and the word correlations are there undeniably. In fact, a rabbi, Aaron, who was trying to dispute my video, wound up inadvertently agreeing with what I had put in the video. But I want to emphasize, not that I'm trying to beg out of anything, but this is just truth, and I want to be integrity-filled here. I am not the discoverer of that correlation. I think, Alan, that I'm probably just the first person who ever made a video.
Well, who is the discoverer of this, and what is the revelation?
You can go on the Internet. People were sending me links. There were 4 or 5 different guys that had found these things.
All right, now you're saying that the Aramaic translation of that passage, right?
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
All right. I'm just trying to cut to the chase here a little bit.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. So tell me about that.
Basically, I know radio. I know how it works.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
I'm still learning, but go ahead.
But basically, Alan, that passage, if you were to put it into Hebrew and you were to say, I saw Satan, and the word Satan is a Hebrew word, so it would say that. I saw Satan fall like lightning. The Hebrew word for lightning, believe it or not, is barak, B-A-R-A-K, fall like lightning from heaven. Now, the Hebrew word for heaven is shamayim, but there is a word that speaks of the domain of Satan, which is the context of that, the heights, and that word is bama. And to put the Hebrew modifier between the words that would indicate, fall from, is an u or an o or an ah. And different Hebrew experts that I've read have it differently. So literally, the word correlation is strange. It's
so
weird,
an Aramaic translation would be, I beheld Satan as Barak Ubama.
That's right. Now, all I did was make the video presentation of that linguistic presentation that other people had discovered, because it's thought-provoking.
So do you believe, therefore, that the Bible is there for predicting that Barack Obama is the Antichrist?
Yes. No, I have said many times, and in that interview with Dr. Loy Roth, that I do not put credence in that verse making that declaration. All I did was report and make the video of, and I don't apologize for.
Well, what do you think it means if what you're saying is true? And I'm not a biblical scholar nor a linguistic scholar, but if you're going to translate Luke 18 and it says, I beheld Satan as Barack Obama, what does that mean?
Well, what does it mean to you?
That either it's a bad translation or somebody's trying to, it's like a Rorschach test where you're trying to hear words that you think apply, or maybe he's Satan.
No, there's four possibilities.
Yeah.
It's a bad translation, or what did you say the second one was? Because you were right.
Maybe it's a Rorschach test where people put their own impressions upon it.
That's right, exactly. Or it is just a strange, weird coincidence, and life is filled with it.
But you're bringing this up, and you made a YouTube about it to spread the word that perhaps the Bible predicted Barack Obama as being Satan.
I made the video because it is extremely thought-provoking, and I said that in the video. And I've said that in every interview I've ever done.
I understand that. So, you're not making a declarative statement, but here it is for your consideration, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. Hey, I report, you decide. Haven't you said
I've never heard that expression before, but you know what you're really doing, Pastor, is you're spreading the notion, and let's not play coy here, Pastor Carl Gallups. But you're spreading the notion that there's biblical prediction of a Barack Obama being the Antichrist.
Well, you can call it that if you wish, and I'm not being coy at all. I'm telling you that that's one of the things that we do at the P.P. Simmons News and Ministry Network, is we take these thought-provoking and sometimes even provocative information, and we...
But you're not neutral about this. Surely you have an opinion.
I've already told you my opinion. I've said it over and over and over. I said it the last time I was on your show. I say it in every interview. I do not think Obama is the Antichrist. I have never declared that he is the Antichrist. I think he is very anti-Christian in a lot of his declarations and ways of governing. I'm very disturbed by that, and I'm certainly not the only one. Listen, we had the director of the big health organization, I can't remember the name of it, yesterday testified before Congress and was freaking out about the power grab that Obama was doing, and he said, as he testified before Congress from the Cato Institute, that he was afraid that our country might go to a revolution.
Well, that's a ridiculously inflamed rhetoric from the Cato Institute, which I think does a lot of good research, but they're libertarian. They don't like government, period.
I know, but I'm just making the point that a lot of people have a lot of angst right now, Alan, and you know
why is this president being treated in a way I've never seen I've never heard another president called the Antichrist?
Yeah.
Is it because he's black?
I have not called him the Antichrist.
But I mean, even the you're treading on that territory there, Pastor.
But no.
You're bringing up Barack Obama in Luke and then saying, well, but I'm not calling him the Antichrist, but you're going and promoting a translation in Luke 11:18.
Alan, no different than what you've done all of your life in the media in reporting on sensational stories and ideas, and you report on them. And then, of course, with Fox News, your mantra is, I report, you decide. So that's the
I was not smart enough to come up. I didn't write that. But this is what you. Because this is what you choose to report. You're not reporting that Barack Obama is the guy who got 41 million people health care. You're not reporting that Barack Obama is the guy who killed bin Laden. You're not reporting that Barack Obama is the guy who turned around joblessness and a good economy. You're reporting that he's got a name that is somehow mentioned in Luke that resonates with his own name. That's what you're choosing to report.
Actually, you're wrong in the litany you just laid out, because we did report when he killed bin Laden. We reported heavily on that, et cetera, et cetera. So you're wrong in your characterization of who I am and what I do.
Okay.
And in this case, I make no apologies for making a video displaying information between word correlations, and I'm clear in the video and in every interview I've ever done that it is merely word correlations that are interesting and that I put out there. That's what we do. We put information out there.
Who decides? Well, you get to choose what kind of information you put out. Who decides who a good Christian is? Who decides who's Christ and who's anti? Who makes that choice? Is that something you have the right to do? Or is that really for God to do?
Yeah. Well, of course, as a Christian coming from a biblical worldview, the Word of God is the standard, and in context, we can have a good idea. I mean, Jesus said himself, you'll know a good tree by its fruit and a bad tree by its fruit. And but you're right, though, that in what you're saying, there is an element of we're to be very careful about making extreme and nitpicking judgments. That's what the Pharisees did. But again, you asked me before, when I look at a man who said, if you want your health care, you can keep it, and then, 85 times, and now he said, well, no, didn't do that. You look at a man that before he ran for office, he said, I am opposed to gay marriage, and now he's doing everything he can to support it. You look at a man that supports abortion wholeheartedly, and you go down
He supports choice. No one supports abortion. The position is choice, not abortion.
Okay, you said you didn't want to debate on that.
No,
but different opinions.
Okay.
But the bottom line, though, Alan, is from a biblical worldview, I can go down the line, and again, David Barton has listed scores of them, and many people have done this, and you can go down the line of clear biblical teaching, contextual biblical teaching, and there's where we can make the judgment, if you will, the discernment that there are many characteristics that are anti-Christian. Now, that's his right. But it's also my right to draw attention.
And there might be other Christians,
but it's my responsibility.
And there might be other Christians like Jim Wallace who are progressive, who may disagree with you, but they are also Christians too. You know, Jim?
I respect their opinion, and I respect their ability to disagree. I do. I have some of these guys on my show all the time.
All right.
We talk about these things.
Pastor, I do appreciate you coming on the program tonight.
Oh, listen, Alan, I appreciate you having me. It's always a pleasure to be with you, and thank you for your fair-mindedness. I enjoyed talking.
Thanks very much. Pastor Carl Gallups, Senior Pastor at the Hickory Hammock Baptist Church in Milton, Florida. Obama's not the Antichrist, just an Antichrist. We'll come right back at 877-367-2526.